moment you realize that once your words are said, they cannot be taken back is the moment that you realize you need to keep them under control. The human mind cannot process a question mark. People need to know your intent. People need to know who you are. People have to know what you are doing because their brain just can't handle what it doesn't know. It has to find out what this question mark is. By not saying too much or avoiding unnecessary conversations, you make people feel uncomfortable. The room becomes uncomfortable. This is to be used depending on who you are with, I would say. For example, if you are with a lover or you are with family, I would call those the exceptions. Close friends, even people that you know and fully trust, you don't have to keep this silence around. Friends, I would, but a lover or family is what I think is times that you don't have to feel the need to be able to feel in control of the conversations. Sometimes you just have to push the power aside and enjoy the moment, especially with your loved ones as well. They are a blessing in your life. Now, do not mess that up by trying to have a power over them, because there is a difference between having power with certain people in certain situations, and there is a giant difference between showing power with people you love. You don't have to. With the people you love, you should be able to be calm in the moment and not have to worry about if you have the power in the room or if you have the control in the room. Just have fun, settle, don't worry about being in control, because once you get to that point where people see you as power, where people see you as self-controlled, as in control, and people fear you even, you don't have to feel the need to keep up that persona or have up that wall every single time. You have to get to a point where yes, you have everything you've ever desired. You've become the person you always wanted to be, but it's not going to mean a single thing if you don't sometimes enjoy the tiny moments, if you don't sometimes enjoy the company that is around you. By not answering the questions that the brain needs answered, by people not being able to analyze any subtle phrases you say or any body language, they try to fill that question mark, that blank, with their own answer. And in doing so, they fill the silence with insults or petty remarks. And by doing so, you get to see who they are on the inside. You get to discover them, and they reveal things to you without having to put it into words. All that is valuable knowledge to you. That is valuable knowledge and a showcase of their own weakness. Remember, every single action, every phrase, every sentence that somebody says or does is a piece of or a reflection of who that person is. And I'm sure everybody's going to ask the question or make the excuse to avoid accountability. Oh, what if this was said or done in anger? People say or do things they don't really mean in anger. But what you can tell from this is that how they respond under intense situations is to result into anger, to lose all of their control. I'm sure you've heard people say that, oh, they can win or beat you in a fight or kill you because all they see is red. That's the worst possible thing you can go into a fight seeing. Not being in control of yourself or what you are doing is the easiest way to get your ass knocked out. I'm sorry, but it's true. 10 times out of 10, the person who is in control of the fight is always going to beat the person who is seeing red. So you can tell by them even resulting to anger how they react under an intense situation. Anybody who is quick to anger is not in control of themselves. And as I always say, a man who did not have self-control is not a man to be trusted or to be around. You have more power when you just shut up. And when you do choose to speak or what to respond to, people ponder on each word that is said by you and brings extra attention to what you speak. Now, before I continue with the first tale that is in this law, I want to give my overall just view of this tiny sentence fragment. Always say less than necessary. By doing so, you seem a lot more put together, a lot more in control of your environment and yourself. By by speaking less and choosing your words, making them something of an importance, that adds a lot more value to you yourself than by trying to speak so much over all of these people to try to get your point across. It makes you seem very insecure. People love listeners. I mean, it's true. When you want to go to talk to somebody, you're not gonna go and talk to somebody who likes to speak over you or who likes to put in their view every sentence or two that you make. You want to go to the person that sits there and that listens and makes you feel heard, which is great. But I would choose who you are doing this with. I have my person that I can go to talk to about those things, yes, but I wouldn't just go to a random person and just spill to them what's on my mind, because some people, which I believe there was a king in the second tale, or the second tale of this story, that he listened, and by him listening, he attained so much knowledge on people and how to run his own city. That is my take of this tiny fragment. Now let me move on with tale 1. A military hero of ancient Rome. Wow. A military hero of ancient Rome known as Coriolanus. He had won many battles. He was a legend. He saved the city numerous amount of times from total elimination. One day, he just decided to go into politics. Now, nobody knew him personally. Nobody knew who he was. Sorry, they knew who he was, but nobody knew who he truly was under all of his feats. All they knew were his legends. All they knew were the battles he had won. All they knew was just of this legendary figure, but nobody knew him personally. So he decided to get into politics and run for the high court. Now, at an event to announce the candidates, Coriolanus ended up giving a speech along with every other candidate running for a position in the court. Now, he did something that shocked the whole crowd. The whole crowd was sent into tears because of this simple action. All he did was just take off whatever shirt he had or whatever armor he had on and revealed all of his scars from the past 17 years that he had been in battle. The whole entire city just cried. This one feat made everybody think that he was the sure elect for this position in the court. Nobody really paid attention or heard the speech he had gave after this. Now, the whole city knew that he was the sure winner. And on the polling day, Coriolanus decided to make a bold, overly confident statement, we'll say, of him rolling in with the Senate and other current politicians, parading around, making arrogant jokes and saying extremely ignorant and harsh words or phrases in his speeches, and boasting about all of his wins in battle, all of his saves of the city, of how he was the sure winner. And after this, the city now saw their legendary figure, their legendary hero, as a brag, as someone who was arrogant. And after this, they made sure he did not win. They all pulled back their polls and voted for whoever else was in the court. Now, Coriolanus was furious by this. He had went back to battle spouting about revenge on the people who had turned on him, supposedly. And some time had gone by, and at a speech of the Senate, he makes an appearance on stage, and he's just spouting. He makes it onto this stage, and he's just spouting very controversial topics that nobody agreed on him with, about how the government should be taken down, about how these senates or politicians of the people should be no more, and continuing spouting his arrogant phrases, his harsh words. And after he left this speech, the whole city demanded, they were furious, they demanded Coriolanus to make a public appearance and publicly apologize to the whole city of ancient Rome. Now, after Coriolanus Coriolanus had, I really hope I'm saying his name right, Coriolanus said that he would not make an appearance or apologize to anybody. There were riots. The people were furious until one day he did decide to make an appearance, and he started off his speech slowly. People thought that this was an actual heartfelt apology until his tempo sped up and he started spouting the same harsh, arrogant words to the people. Now, everybody wanted him to lose his life, but they granted him mercy by giving him a lifelong banishment, and he shall not return to their battlefield ever again. The city condemned Rome's legendary figure, their lifelong hero, to a lifelong banishment. This story could have gone completely different if Coriolanus had just held his tongue when he knew that he was the sure elect. A person that cannot control his words shows that he cannot control himself. Therefore, he is unworthy of respect. The human tongue is a beast that few can master. It constantly tries to escape and say things that should not be said in the moment, showing a sign of weakness by you showing anger or frustration or resentment. It is always best that you stay calm, collected, and cool in any given situation so that you maintain the upper hand. You maintain control of whatever conversation or whatever disagreement this is. And by doing so, you have the power in whatever it is that is going on. You should also remain completely humble. Coriolanus did the opposite of that. He made a giant bragging spout of how he was sure elect, about how he won all these victories, about how he saved the city, making it seem like the people of the city owed him. And because of this, the city did not want a braggart as their elect. Remain humble in any given situation, because the same way God granted you with all that you have, he can take it away in an instant if you remain like a Coriolanus. Coriolanus was a legend, as few knew who he truly was. Everybody knew of his godlike reputation, of all of his wars and all of his victories. But the moment he spoke his mind, he lost all mystery and power. The moment you share your worldview with the world or with anybody, it is the most foolish thing anybody can do, because everybody has a different view on how the world is. And people are so quick to judge, believing that their worldview is better than yours. And sometimes I know some people have a twisted view on how the world is. I'm talking about you guys specifically. If you go spouting about a view or a controversial take of a topic you have, maybe you believe the earth is flat, or something about the current president, or something political wise, controversial wise, gender wise, you would get attacked. And this plays into law 5 of protecting your reputation, because it is all you have. Because if you go around shouting these views and people see you as that, the world is going to come after you. The easiest way to get to somebody, to basically kill a man, is to target his reputation, because once there is a tiny hole, a gap in it, society will do all the rest and get rid of that person for you. So if you have your worldviews, if you have your own goals, keep them to yourself so that you are even able to, hopefully in the future, inflict those goals into reality instead of having it stumped because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. If you have an ultimate goal or an exterior motive, talk about it, but don't talk about it with your words. Talk about it with your actions, not words. Your mouth, your words, your voice can be your biggest tool, but can also be your ultimate betrayal. Something I love about the 48 Laws is that they have these little quotes at the end of every single interpretation that there is in every single given law. The one here is by Leonardo da Vinci. Oysters open completely when the moon is full, and when the crab sees one, it throws a piece of stone or seaweed into it, and the oyster cannot close again, so that it serves the crab for meat. Such is the fate of him who opens his mouth too much, and thereby puts himself at the mercy of the listener. Leonardo da Vinci, 1452 through 1519. Now there is a reversal to this law, and I've broken it down for you into 2 segments. The first one is that there are times to know when your silence is best to be used, because this law in a way conflicts with law 1 of the 48 Laws of Power. Never outshine the masters. Your silence should be practiced with caution, as it does conflict with this law. People who have a higher superior than you are often more secure, and if they feel threatened by your silence, if they feel like they are not in control of the situation, they will target you, and you will get the type of attention that you do not seek. Yes, it is great that for each time, and I know I said that by the scarcity of your silence, people pay deeper attention to every word that is said from you. You do not want it from this type of superior, the insecure type of master that is able to ruin you completely. They pay more attention to you and every single thing you do to find a certain exploit that they can use to hurt you, because you made them feel as if they're an idiot, which you should never make somebody who has a higher superiority than you do, because that can easily come right back around and bite you in your ass, because they will do anything they can to embarrass you because they felt embarrassed themselves in that situation. Act a fool if you have to. Be the court jester. It doesn't matter as long as you know deep down that you are more superior than this individual. If it comes down to it, you are smarter than this person. If it really came down to it, you can kill this person if you have to. But never outshine the masters. The very first law in the 48 Laws of Power. This is part 2 of the reversal for this law. Words can be used as a smokescreen, and just now discussed in my last breakdown of Law 3. By using your words to fill somebody's ear with lies or false desires, or telling them exactly what they want to hear, it averts them off of their path to finding out your true goal or your true desire. And you can now continue to go the route you were going by feeding this person a false perception to get them off of your own tail. By talking more, you appear weaker and less intelligent, which is the perfect smokescreen to conceal your true intentions. If Coriolanus practiced this, he would have gotten the results that he knew he would have gotten at the very beginning. Alright, you guys, now this was my breakdown of Law 4 of the 48 Laws of Power. Always say less than necessary. If you have any views or comments, you can leave them all right down below. Check out our podcast Vivid for more controversial topics that me and my co-host do speak about. I highly recommend getting the 48 Laws of Power soon. I will be leaving a link in my description with a promo code to get this book discounted off of Amazon pretty soon. So stay tuned for that, and in my next breakdown, which I already have written out, we will be discussing and breaking down the 5th law of the 48 Laws of Power. So stay tuned for that one as we follow this journey of me breaking down every single law in the 48 Laws of Power, and this will benefit you as possible as it can. It really is a giant shame that there are not a lot of people who really prioritize self-betterment, because all of the and as I said, amusement is going to be society's downfall, because people would rather be seduced or amused rather than learning this information that is just in this book right here. As always, I'm leaving you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. Stay tuned. See you guys in the next one.